This is news analysis coming to you live on Politics and Business Television Abuja. Good afternoon and many thanks for joining us. I am Omike Joseph Matthew. The headlines. INEC seeks nearly 1 trillion naira for 2027 elections. El-Rufai alleges executive overreach after reported arrest attempt at Abuja Airport. Rivers Governor Fubara dissolves State Executive Council, appoints new Chief Press Secretary. And on the international scene, Trump repeals key Obama-era climate ruling, sparking environmental backlash. Details of these stories after the break. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. The Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has informed the National Assembly that it requires 873.78 billion naira to conduct the 2027 general elections, alongside 171 billion naira to fund its operations for the 2026 fiscal year. The 2027 election budget marks a significant increase from the 313.4 billion naira released for the 2023 general elections, reflecting the growing scale and complexity of Nigeria's electoral process. This comes as the country prepares for nationwide elections in 2027, while Ekiti and Osun states, as well as the Federal Capital Territory, will hold governorship and by-elections this year. INEC Chairman Professor Joash Amukpetun presented the Commission's budget proposals before the National Assembly Joint Committee on Electoral Matters in Abuja. He explained that the 873.78 billion naira projection covers the full conduct of the 2027 elections, while the 171 billion naira allocation for 2026 is intended to support routine activities, including by-elections and off-season polls. The budget, he noted, is structured across 5 major components to ensure comprehensive planning and execution. Professor Amukpetun also highlighted that the proposed election budget does not include a pending request from the National Youth Service Corps for increased allowances for corps members serving as ad hoc election staff. He emphasized that the budget was prepared in compliance with Section 3, Subsection 3 of the Electoral Act 2022, which mandates INEC to present its election budget at least 1 year before a general election, ensuring adequate time for planning and implementation. Adequate time for planning and implementation. Former Kaduna State Governor Malam Nasir El-Rufai has described an attempt by security operatives to arrest him at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, as executive overreach and a disregard for the rule of law. In an earlier interview with BBC Hausa, he has suggested that he might soon be arrested, noting that 4 of his former aides were already in detention. He also hinted on Wednesday via X that he would be returning to Nigeria from Cairo. Tension reportedly erupted at the Abuja airport on Thursday when armed security personnel approached El-Rufai shortly after his arrival, allegedly attempting to escort him away. His aide, Muyiwa Adekeye, disclosed on X that those present resisted the move, insisting that any action must be backed by proper documentation. The supporters had gathered at the airport to receive the former governor and chieftain of the African Democratic Congress, and we are seen in a video ushering him and his wife into an SUV to the African Democratic Congress, and we are seen in a video ushering him and his wife into an SUV to leave the premises. Reacting after on his X account, El-Rufai accused the authorities of exceeding their powers and violating the rule of law. The new Chief Press Secretary, Unwoka Nzishi, while his former Chief Press Coordinator, Nelson Chukwudi, was dismissed. though no reason was provided for Chukwudi's removal. The cabinet dissolution was announced in a government special announcement in Port Harcourt on Thursday and communicated to the press by the new chief press secretary. Governor Fubara directed all commissioners and special advisors to hand over to the move follows a recent peace deal brokered by President Bola Tinubu between Fubara and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike in Abuja. This marks the third time Tinubu has intervened in political tensions involving the governor, his estranged political godfather, and members of the State House of Assembly. Following the dissolution, Governor Fubara is expected to submit a new list of commissioner nominees to the Martin Emaule-led House of Assembly for screening and confirmation. The shakeup signals a fresh start for the state cabinet with a focus on reorganizing leadership ahead of renewed political collaboration in Rivers State. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar on Thursday dismissed claims by former Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose regarding an alleged political deal with Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde as desperate and baseless. The controversy followed reports of a closed-door meeting between Atiku and Makinde at the residence of former head of state General Ibrahim Babangida in Minna, which sparked speculations about a possible 2027 political arrangement. Fayose had alleged that during the meeting, Makinde offered to join the African delegates to secure Atiku's presidential ticket. He also claimed that the duo planned another meeting in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, to finalize negotiations. Atiku, through his senior special assistant on public communication, Prank Shaibo, denied any engagement in the alleged horse trading. He stressed that no discussions took place regarding contributions or zoning arrangements and called on the public to disregard the claims as entirely unworthy of attention. You're still watching news analysis right here on Politics and Business Television Abuja. And still to come, more stories will be coming your way from the home scene as details of those stories and more coming up next. Please do stay with us. You're welcome back to the program. The federal government has stepped up security operations in the North Central region after deadly attacks in Kwara State left many villagers dead. The assault reportedly took place last Tuesday night when suspected Islamic militants attacked Wuru and Nuku communities in Kema local government area. At least 100 people were feared killed. In response, the government launched a new security operation codenamed Operation Savannah Shield, according to a statement by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris. The operation will involve the deployment of military personnel, police officers, and National Forest Guards to protect vulnerable communities. The government said the offensive is supported by improved intelligence and rapid response strategies under the expanded security mandate declared by President Bola Tinubu on November 26, 2026. Tinubu condemned the attacks as beastly and heartless, describing them as part of a failed terrorist campaign targeting innocent civilians. And to the world of business now, the Naira on Thursday recorded its first depreciation against the United States dollar at the official foreign exchange market this week. The Central Bank of Nigeria's data showed that the Naira weakened on Thursday to 1,353.66 kobo per dollar, down from 1,348.95 kobo. This means that on a day-to-day basis, the 4 Naira 71 kobo dropped against the dollar. The decline almost erased Naira's 5 Naira 51 kobo per dollar gain at the official exchange in the last 3 days. However, at the black market, the Naira appreciated further by 5 Naira to 1,440 on Thursday per dollar, up from 1,445 Naira the previous day, owing to the Apex Bank's latest intervention to bureau the change operators. The development comes as Nigeria's foreign debt grew further to $47.53 million as of the February 10, 2026, according to the Apex Bank data. And on the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump has reversed a key Obama-era scientific ruling, the 2009 endangerment finding, which declared that greenhouse gases pose a threat to public health. This ruling has formed the legal foundation for federal efforts to reduce emissions, particularly from vehicles. The White House described the move as the largest deregulations in American history, claiming it will lower vehicle costs and save automakers about $2,400 per car. Trump called the previous policy a disastrous Obama-era measure that hurt the auto industry and raised prices for consumers. Environmental groups criticize the rollback as the most significant attack on climate change regulations to date and plan to challenge it in court. Former President Barack Obama warned that repealing the finding would make Americans more vulnerable to environmental risks. And now to the world of sports. Let's now join Abel Sunday.
Good day and welcome to PRB Sport News Updates. I'm Abel Sunday. Arsenal were held to a frustrating 1-1 draw away at Brentford in a tightly contested Premier League clash. The Gunners took the lead with a composed finish, but Brentford responded with resilience, capitalizing on a defensive lapses to earn a valuable point at home. Its 2-point dropped for Arsenal in the title race. Away to Spain, Atletico Madrid delivered a stunning statement performance, thrashing Barcelona 4-0. Diego Simeone's men were ruthless, clinical, and dominant from start to finish, exposing Barca's defensive problem in one-sided encounter. Then to the fixtures for FA Cup round of 4, Bolton Albion versus West Ham United, Burnley versus Mansfield Town, Man City versus Stafford City, Norwich City versus West Brom Albion, Port Vale versus Bristol City, Southampton versus Leicester City, Aston Villa versus Newcastle United, Liverpool versus Brighton. That's all for sports. I'm Abel Sunday.
Thank you very much, Abel Sunday, for that sports news. So welcome onto the focus of the day. Now, former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has raised fresh concerns over what he describes as executive overreach following an alleged attempt by security operatives to detain him at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. The incident occurred shortly after his return from Cairo, amid earlier indications that he could face arrest with 4 of his former aides already in detention. According to his aide, and personnel approached him at the airport, but those present insisted on proper documentation before any action could be taken. So supporters who had gathered to welcome the former governor were later seen escorting him out of the airport premises. In a post on X, El-Rufai accused the authorities of exceeding their powers and disregarding the rule of law, further heightening political tensions. And that is why on the focus today, we'll be looking at the topic when democracy is under threat. So we'll be having our guest via virtual who will be joining us very, very soon. I think we already have our guest, Ibrahim Waziri, on the line. A warm welcome to the focus of the day right here on Politics and Business Television, Abuja.
Thank you very much.
Nice to have you. Now, how did you receive the news of the attempted, arrest of Air Rufai at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport yesterday, when he actually returned from Cairo, Egypt?
Well, actually, it didn't come to me as a surprise, but it comes to me as a confirmation of the rumors we have, because we have seen a list from a confidential person, a list of people that will be arrested and some may be eliminated by the government before 2027, because they felt that they are a threat to their re-election in 2027. But what they don't know is that the election is good. It's only God that decides who becomes what. If as well as people around can think, by 1993, where were they? By 1993, what was the situation in this country? The two actors, let Sani Abacha and let A.P. Abiola go to send us a message through them. He showed us a lesson. He taught us a very big lesson. Please, my advice to this government is please have a fear of God whatever you do. Saying that God is behind and watching. God doesn't talk, but actually it takes action where necessary. Please let them have the fear of God, not intimidating people that even get themselves. Not even them put less. They may not even face tomorrow. The place of saying you are arresting, intimidating, harassing people is wrong. It's when you know that you've done something good. Allow people to decide. Allow people to decide. The first thing these people did, people that claim to be pro-democracy, we filed for registration of over 80 political parties. They blocked all of them. Then they later came up with two names that got court ordered them to register two parties only. You can imagine this. The pro-democracy telling intelligent Nigerians. Nigerians are one of the most intelligent people you can ever meet on earth. You are telling Nigerians that yes, court ordered you to register only two political parties. This is one. Then two, you started intimidating people, started arresting, talking rubbish, linking them to terrorism, linking them to money laundering, linking them to whatever, whatever.
Okay, so do you see this arrest of opposition politicians or attempted arrest of opposition politicians?
The only thing, the first one is a threat to them in Kebbi State, because Malami said, I want to be the next governor of Kebbi State. And you know what happened? Based on the structures Malami set up in Kebbi, said, I want to be the next governor of Kebbi State. And you know what happened? Based on the structures Malami set up in Kebbi, the presidential election, all the senators lost. They all went to PDP. All the senators lost. But when it came to government, 50% of the members, 75% of the members of the Senate family won under APC. Election is okay, now all participate. The governor won, and more than 50% of the members, 75% of the members of the Senate family won under APC. So now you tell me, I want to do it myself. That's where it came. They said they know he looted money, he took this, under confidence, and walked on the street. The security agencies have not been taken care of. I'm sure a lot of people that have retired from service are still waiting for their gratuity or pension. Some have been neglected from this pension deliberately. They've been pushed away by the federal government. Then the other one is the health sector. You can imagine in this country, the health workers went on strike for more than a month. There was nobody talking to them. Nobody. And when the president came out, just he had increased the salary of called the lecturers 40%, and he didn't mention anything about the health workers. And this one key thing, you have to be healthy for you to do anything in life. But unfortunately, the government doesn't have that focus. They don't care about Nigerians. They only care about their pockets and their interest. What is their interest? To steal, loot, and actually take power. That's what they want. They want to be in power and they want to have our treasury in their pockets. That's what they have done.
All right.
It's a very big threat. It's a very big threat to Nigerian democracy.
Okay. All right. All right. Before we let you go, because of time constraints, what role should the judiciary, play in ensuring that political rivalries do not translate into abuse of state power?
Well, unfortunately, the judiciary, people are losing confidence in the judiciary. You can imagine the president went for the annual inauguration of the when we got it, end of year, beginning of the year, judicial year, they were singing on your mandate. We stand on an illegal mandate, on a stolen mandate. They say, which mandate? Who gave you the mandate? We've not gone into election yet. We are preparing for 2027. We are singing on you stand on this mandate. Which mandate? You are not part of you are not part of what they call it. You are not elected. You are not even part of whatever it is that is in the system. You are judges. You are to decide between the right and the wrong. You have to tell us to implement what we call it to let me tell you, your responsibility is to implement both tell Nigerians difference between A and B, who is wrong and who is right. We've already decided that you are signing on somebody's mandate. Mandate has not even come to us yet. It's unfortunate, to be honest with you. But we still have confidence, not much as we used to have, but we still confidence in the judiciary. My call to them is for them to stand upright and do the right so that people have confidence and more confidence in the judiciary. Because it's the only hope of the common man. Whatever happens, then you go to the judiciary and say, okay, let me go there and get justice. When you don't get justice, what is that? It's anarchy. The next thing is anarchy. When the judiciary follow these people to abuse them, then the next thing is anarchy, which is unfortunate. But that's why I'm telling you that this is the highest threat of Nigerian democracy. We're at the peak. I think we've reached about 75 to 95% of the threat of Nigerian democracy. It's unfortunate. We're claiming to be pro-democracy when Nigeria was under the claim to be pro-democracy. And now we're under democracy for more than 20 years and we want to erode democracy because it's structured so that some military people feel it's unfortunate. My goal for them is for them to override and share of voting their mind.
All right. Thank you very, very much, Ibrahim Waziri, for joining us on the focus of the day today.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you very much. Ibrahim Waziri is a former lawmaker with the Adamawa State House of Assembly, joining us today to look at the arrest of El-Rufai and other the attempted arrest of former governor of Kaduna State, Governor Nasir El-Rufai, and of course other opposition leaders in the country. And that wraps up today's program. But before we go, the headlines once again. INEC seeks nearly 1 trillion naira for 2027 elections. El-Rufai alleges executive overreach after reported arrest attempt at Abuja Airport. Rivers Governor Fubara dissolves State Executive Council, appoints new Chief Press Secretary. And on the foreign scene, Trump repeals key Obama-era climate ruling, sparking environmental backlash. On behalf of the team, I want to say thank you for watching, but don't forget, you can, of course, get in-depth analysis from Politics and Business Television, and you can always get us from our social media handles like Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, TikTok. So do well to get our handle at P&B TV_English. My name is Omike Joseph Matthew. See you soon.